Let me share something with the people who are doing their healing work. Something I realized once I got to the other side of my healing is the fact that I did not realize how broken I was. Like, you know how the whole saying is hindsight is 2020. When you're in it, you don't see it. You think everything's fine. You think everything's normal. You think nothing is happening. Like, I mean, I'm going through struggles, but at the same time, I'm just living life. Like, you don't see that you have insecurities. You have lack of confidence, which keeping you from being, who's making, not keeping you, but making you be desperate, keeping you from walking out of relationships that you should walk out of, putting you in a space where like you have like these foggy glasses on where you just don't see what you really are in. Everyone else around you can see it. You typically don't see it for yourself. So like I was in a domestic violence relationship for 10 years, almost 11. And I didn't realize that that relationship was as bad as it was until I finally was fed up, got out of the relationship. And then once I did therapy, I did my healing work, and then I was able to look back and be like, man, I was broken. Like, I really thought that relationship wasn't that bad. I got so used of dysfunction. I got so used to not being treated right. I got used to being cheated on. I got used to it being physically abusive where I was fighting back, of course. But to me, that was normal. This is just what we do. Like, I didn't realize how broken I was in that relationship because I normalized dysfunction in relationships. But the thing about it is, most people don't do their healing work. Most people just get out of a relationship and then you become jaded, you become guarded, you become thinking you're saving yourself, you lack vulnerability, you don't want to open up no more. You say, oh, this happened to me already before and I'm not doing it again. And you just apply those negativities and those things you've endured from that 1, 2, or however many relationship you was in, and you apply that to every woman that's going to come into your life or to every man that's going to come into your life because you have not done your healing work. So what you typically do is you hinder yourself when you don't do your healing work from having something that could potentially be beautiful, be exactly what you wanted out of those other relationships, but you happen to pick the wrong person. I'm saying all this to basically say that most people don't take accountability for the actions that they took in those relationships. And it doesn't matter how bad the relationship is. You have to take accountability for the fact that you chose that person, you stayed in that relationship for that long, you normalized those behaviors that was happening in the relationship. And here's the thing, I was in a domestic violence relationship, but yet I still had to take the accountability for the fact that I chose him. I seen the red flags and I ignored them. So when we see people today, when we see the jadedness, the bitterness, the women are like this, the men are like that, this is how y'all are. Majority of the people today don't take accountability and don't do their healing work. And when you are unwilling to do your work that you need to do, to process your emotions, to process the pain that you've endured or that was endured to you, to process the failed relationship that you wanted to work, to process that when you don't do that work and then you just jump into another relationship with someone else, you typically make that person pay the price for what the other people did to you. And then what happens is broken people break people. And that is what's been happening. A broken person breaking another person, a broken person breaking another person, and everybody's turning so bitter towards each other, and everybody's blaming everybody else. And men are blaming women for being a certain way, and women are blaming men for being a certain way. And I'm not saying anybody's perfect, but what I am saying is that we have to take accountability for our own actions, and you have to get the therapy, and you have to get the help, and you have to do your own work and stop pointing the finger at everybody else.